Okay, so before we start the speedrun, let me just briefly explain what this speedrun is about. So Hearthstone have different kinds of single player adventures. One of them is called League of Explorers, and I will be doing the heroic mode of this adventure. And heroic mode is a mode that is made to be really hard for casual players, but thanks to newer cards and creative strategies, there's a lot of tricks and exploits to beat these bosses that almost no players are aware of. And yeah, so let's just start with the run. Timer starts when I select the deck. And so Hearthstone is an online card game, and people don't really associate online card games with speedruns. So yeah, almost nobody is aware that these speedruns exist. And yeah, so first of all, let me just talk a bit about Hearthstone mechanics. So there are two types of cards in this game: minions and spells. Minions are creatures that you put on the board, and they may have different kinds of effects. And spells, when you play it, it could do different kinds of things, such as summoning a minion or damaging a minion, healing your hero, etc., etc. So yeah, there's a lot of them, obviously. And the two circles besides the hero portrait here, it's called a hero power. It's an ability that he could use once per turn, and this hero have an interesting hero power. But first of all, you will see me keep mashing the corner in here. This is wait, what do I do here? So this is done. So when you click the enemy cards, it will speed up the animation. And yeah, so you'll keep seeing me doing this. And so first of all, so what's his hero power is? His hero power have two different effects. The first is giving him an extra mana crystal, and mana crystal is the resources that you need to play your cards. So because he get an extra one every turn, you will see him playing. Hold on, we'll do it here. And yeah, you will see him play big minions on the early turns because he have extra mana crystals. And the second effect is he will give me a 0 mana spell. These spells, I used one of them just now. And what these spells does is that it will man, this is kind of bad. But yeah, what these spells does is that it will, hold on a minute, it do this this mechanical discover. And what discover does is that, you've seen it just now, is that it will give you a choice of 3 random cards. And this is kind of bad, but yeah, 3 random cards, and you get to pick one of them. Would be good if I have another consecration. This would also help, I guess.
It's worth thousands.
We're not selling it.
Yeah, sorry, my commentary might be slowed down a bit when I'm doing these covers, because it's hard to give a commentary when I'm trying to assess my options. So yeah, you've seen me playing those discover cards. So the strategy of this boss also sometimes revolves around abusing those spells, because you have cards that could synergize with casting a spell, such as File Teacher. But hold on a minute, let me just do something else for now.
None may steal.
Weapon ready. Weapon ready.
Repent.
Weapon ready.
Why not? And just now I played a card called Saboteur. Saboteur will increase the cost of his hero power by 5. And this hero will automatically cast his hero power at the start of his turn. So if I use Saboteur on it, he will always waste.
None may steal us.
What do I do here? He will always waste 5 mana, and that is really useful. because, well, yeah, because if he wastes 5 mana, then he will have less resources to play his cards on. And now that seems like we have the board under control, although our board position isn't huge enough. So now we want to try to get our board as big as possible so we could kill him as quick as possible. And yeah, that's another example of the exploit by using your spells. So the card Arcane Giant here is a card that it costs 12, but the cost will be reduced by 1 every time you cast a spell. So by the time he came in at the late game, his cost is 0. Don't think I want to use Tarim right now. So yeah, you have other cards like, example is Arcane Anomaly, that is the 1 mana minion whose health will be increased by 1 every time you every time you cast a spell. And another example is File Teacher. Oh, and by the way, so why am I using Paladin in the first place? Because if you look at most online guides, they will tell you to use Mage, because Mage have a lot of cards that synergize with spells. But the thing about this boss is, so this boss have 2 features. The first is that he have a really strong early game, so you need good defensive tools. And the second feature is that he don't have a way to efficiently deal with multiple minions at once. And that's the reason why I'm using Paladin. Paladin have good early game tools, while at the same time they also have good tools to summon multiple minions at once, which make this class is really suitable for this boss. Anyway, now time for the second boss. So, and the second boss I'm using a strategy called Quest Priest. So Quest Priest revolves around a card type called Quest, which is only released like about 1.5 years after this adventure is released. Specifically, it's released on the Ungoro expansion last April. And personally, I think that's one reason why I like to do these speedruns, because you get to explore new strategies every time a new expansion came out. And your time could get improved over and over, eventually. Anyway, so before I explain this strategy, let me explain about this boss first. So, in the story, we are searching for different kinds of artifacts. One of them is Rod of the Sun. And so this fight is kind of a tug-of-war between us and our boss with the Rod. So, the Rod is on the opponent's side. When you manage to kill the Rod, it will be transferred to your side. And let me just use this first. I will transfer to your side, and if the opponent kills it again, then it will be transferred back to his side, and etc, etc. So yeah, but what's funny about this boss is that it's actually bugged. This bug is only active recently, like 1 month ago, after a major patch. So hold on, what do I have to do here? So yeah, this Rod of the Sun is supposed to have a +3 attack and +3 health buff when the Rod is on his side, but yeah, that effect is not active anymore right now for some reason. So that makes the fight a bit easier. Although for this strategy, it's a strategy that I made before the bug is active. So this strategy should still work well when Blizzard fixed this bug. And yeah, about this strategy, Quest Priest. So first of all, how does a quest works? Well, quest is a spell that you always get on your opening hand. It gives you an objective to complete and a reward to obtain once you complete that objective. Oh, and the Rod of the Sun is a death rattle minions. It satisfies the quest. Anyway, first of all, and this quest for Priest class is summoning a 7 death rattle minions. And Death Rattle is an effect where if a minion dies, the Death Rattle effect will trigger. And Rod of the Sun just now is also a Death Rattle minion, which is why it triggers the quest. And there you go, I got to play the quest. And the reward is a 5 mana minion with 8 attack and 8 health. When you play it, it will set your health to 40. So it's almost impossible for the opponent to kill me now that I have a very high health. And yeah, the reason why I'm using this strategy is because in this boss it's actually not hard to gain board control, but it could be hard to keep your hero alive because he have a really strong early game. And what do I to say? And yeah, he also have a lot of cards in his deck which deals direct damage, so he could use it to kill your hero. Spells such as Fireball, which deals 6 damage, or Holy Fire, which deals 5 damage. And he also have a bunch of weapons which could make it easy for him to kill you. So yeah, that's why I'm using the Quest Priest, because it's quite often where you are in a situation where you have a low health but a good board control. And yeah, I'm really close to winning right now. I will win in 2 turns at this point. So I just have to hope he doesn't have a Flame Strike, so he can't kill the Rod. Because if the opponent have the Rod, then he will be immune, and I need to kill the Rod of the Sun again. Now, Flame Juggler deals 1 damage to a random enemy. There's a small chance he could hit this one, and that makes the fight slower, but that's not the case. And this fight went really fast actually, now that I win. Yep, there's the second fight. Now time for the third fight. So the third fight is really unique because instead of fighting an enemy, your goal here is to survive 10 turns. So the level name is Temple Escape. So you are escaping a temple instead of fighting a boss. And yeah, to win, you will need to survive 10 turns. The enemy will keep summoning huge minions from the start. But the sequence of enemies is 1 minute. Sequence of enemies is specific. It's fixed. So yeah, you know what is coming, and you are using Mage. Mage have a lot of tools to freeze your opponents, which is the main way you defend yourself against these huge minions.
You don't have time for that.
See, such as this one, I'm freezing it and the opponent can't attack for 1 turn.
Hey, a bit of spice.
What do I do here? Let me just use this. So yeah, because we know what will come, so I know what to do, and it's pretty easy to defend yourself. Although my health is kinda low right now, but next turn I'll just use Frost Nova to freeze all the enemy minions. And yeah, sometimes, occasionally, you also get 2 choices. Like, there are different kinds of choices. Like, last turn you get a choice between getting hit by 5 damage or a random chance of getting 0 or 10 damage. Anyway, now I have a choice of drawing cards or getting mana crystal, and I rather draw cards. So just now a 10-10 is summoned, but next turn all the minions will be destroyed, so I don't need to worry about it anymore for now. I have other tools that I need to win the game at this point. Saboteur is actually really useful when if you use it before he have 5 mana, because he won't be able to use 0 power, and that will skip his turn. But that's not the case right now. Here they have more than 5 mana, so Saboteur isn't really useless. I'm using it just to demonstrate what happens. Yeah, it could skip us some animation time. Anyway, there's a choice here whether we skip a turn and he will summon a 7/7, or we do nothing, but the game is longer. So yeah, of course we skip a turn because it's a speedrun and we want to be fast. Now we have the tools to freeze all of his minions, and we win. Yeah, this fight is kind of an auto-scroller because it's the same thing every time, and all you do is just keep stalling. Might be a good chance to read a bit of donations too, because the explanation is kind of straightforward anyway. Anyways, Carvash is a level that a lot of people are struggling with. So this boss have a unique gimmick. So first of all, on odd numbered turns, which means turn 1, 3, 5, 7, etc., your minions will cost 11, so you can only play spells, and vice versa for for even numbered turns where your spells will cost 11, so you can only play minions. But that gimmick is not the main threat against this boss. The main threat of this boss is these 2 minions here that he already have at the start of the fight. So yeah, here my minions cost 11 and I can't play it. Yeah, these minions are strong, and whenever you cast a spell, their attack will also be buffed. So you have to be careful in choosing what to play, or you might end up buffing them and you will die quickly. So yeah, there's a bit of chance to lose if you have a bad early game in this fight. Fortunately, at least I have something to play on turn 2, although I can't clear a lot of them, so Max will die at this point, fortunately. Ooh, that's a nice top tech. Equality reduces all of the opponent's health into all minions' health into 1, so my explosive sheep that will deal 2 damage on all minions when it dies, it will kill all the minions. Although he gave a really strong minion here, and I will be hit in the face with 7 damage. This is still kind of dangerous though. Nothing else for me to do than hero power here. I could use a spell, but I think I won't use it for now. So the strategy behind this deck is that you have spells that you use spells that are odd, whose mana cost is odd, so you could play it on odd number turns, and you have minions that whose cost is even, so you could play it on even amount of turns, on even number turns. And okay, this Sunkeeper Tarim transform all minions to 3 attack and 3 health, so it's good to play when you have a bunch of small minions. But right now my health is still really low though, so I could still die anytime. I really hope I could get a heal, because yeah, if I don't get a heal, I will probably die eventually. Unfortunately, that's the nature of this speedrun, because well, it's an RNG, it's a card game, it's a lot of RNG. I might die. If I die, I'll just restart. Okay, fortunately he used it on the minion, so I won't die yet. Okay, but that's kind of unlucky. My board is full right now, so I can't play my big minions. I was hoping I could play a huge minion here so I could speed up the game. But yeah, this is a really unusual situation. Okay, now that it's an odd number turns, I can't play my minions, unfortunately. I guess so. Oh, and also this question mark, it's called a secret. So a secret will... I made a bit of mistake actually. I should have summoned the minions before I use my Masterful Battle, before I use my weapon, because Masterful Battle also gave me a weapon. Anyway, secret is a spell that... So there will be an event triggered if you do a certain action, and this boss have a specific secret. This secret is called Dark Trap. It will trigger when you use your hero power, which is why I don't really use my hero power on the last several turns. And it will deal 5 damage to a random enemy, so it could be kind of dangerous. This is actually... this is dangerous. I might actually die. Wait, am I actually dead? Yeah, I'm dead. That was really unfortunate. He have a Keeper of Uldaman, which makes my Lich King small. Yeah, Lich King is supposed to be a big minion, but this card makes it small, and he could kill it without killing his own minion. Oh well, it happens. This level does have a bit of chance to lose, fortunately. Especially the fact that my early game is already kinda bad, so my health is low, and there was that really unusual situation where I can't summon a minion or on my big minion on turn 8 because my board is full. That literally never happened before, so yeah, that's a checklist for literally never happened before moment. But at least the good thing about having a death is that you have more opportunity in reading donations, because without the death, then I think a lot of the time, like most of the time, I have explanations to do, and there won't be a lot of chance to to read the donations. Oh, then there's also one trick regarding this boss that I haven't mentioned because we didn't draw that card during the last fight. So okay, this is a good chance of drawing that card. Anyway, the AI sometimes do this. Oh, there you go, that's the trick. So the trick is involving a card minion called Molten Giant. Do you want to use the weapon? Nah. So Molten Giant is a minion that costs 25, and it will cost 1 less for each damage that your hero have taken. but because his hero power makes makes all your minion cost 11, so the base cost of Molten Giant becomes 11, and that makes the card cost cheaper by 14 mana, which makes it much easier in casting this. Yeah, in you know what? In playing the Molten Giant, which is funny because on odd number turns you aren't supposed to play minions, but yeah, thanks to that interaction. And by the way, that interaction with Giant is kind of new, because before the Knights of Frozen Throne expansion, which is out in like I don't remember when was it, August, sorry, last August. What do I want to do here? It'd be too early for me to play my Aldor, I guess. Yeah, before that, the Giant won't. The cost of the Giant won't change if there's an effect that will change their mana cost into a fixed amount. So before last August, this trick won't work. What do I want to do here? This is kind of weird. Let me save 1 health by using the spell. Next turn I could have a really huge board thanks to my Sunkeeper Tarim. I probably don't really need to attack with my Silver and Recruits 1 by 1 actually. Anyway, yeah, before last August, before the Knights of the Frozen Throne is out, that trick with Molten Giant wouldn't work. But now it works, and Molten Giant becomes a really good card for this boss. It's the speedrun strats, I guess, speedrun strategy. And yeah, obviously there will be no online guide that will be mentioning this trick because this is only available pretty recently, and this adventure is already out like almost like 1 year and maybe 8 months before that trick is available. Anyway, that's kinda unlucky that we have a tap, but oh well, it happens. Yeah, throughout this adventure, like there's a lot of levels which have like a small chance of death, and by small I mean somewhere around maybe like between 5 to 25%. There's one level, Nasjar, which have like a 50-50 chance of winning, but anyway, I'll explain it later when we get there. Anyway, this is similar to Temple Escape, but this is kind of bad. I don't have my board clip, but what is it? In this level, you are given a fixed deck, so you don't have the chance to build your own deck. So in a way, that kind of makes it feels really RNG based, because well, it all depends on what. Because yeah, you don't have a control of your deck. Anyway, my explanation on that last few seconds isn't really good. Anyway, so yeah, you have 2 mana in this fight, and all your card costs 1. You have cards that like, and your goal is to should have drawn card first. And your goal is to survive 10 turns. Although there are cards that will skip a turn. These Battle Forwards, well, right now I have a bunch of these cards, but I don't have a lot of defensive tools. Actually, I have 3. Hold on a minute. 6, 12, 18, 22. Okay, I went. Oh, I actually got to use 3 of those skips. That's really rare, because normally on average I could only use like 1 or 2. Because using 3 of them means that you need to have 3 of these cards by like turn. Yeah, by like turn 7. Hold on a minute. Oh wait, forgot to use the last skip card. That was a bit of a mistake. And in my PB I actually died twice during this level, so that's why that explains the time save. Anyway, so yeah, that's the fight. That's kind of quick, as long as you don't die. There's like maybe about 20-30% chance to die. Not sure about the exact probability. Anyway, now on to the next fight. Arkidas. The gimmick of the hero is from his hero power. His hero power is auto cast, kind of similar to Zinar. And at the start of every turn, he will summon a minion called a statue. Statue is a 0 attack. Statue is a 0 attack minion, so he will summon it for both us and himself. Although his statue have 5 health and 0 attack, while our statue only have 2 health, so our statue is a bit weaker. And so because we got a bunch of minions on our side thanks to the hero himself, the strategy here is we are using attack that synergize with the fact that we will have a lot of minions. What am I going to do here? Let me just attack the statue first because he has a spell that could buff these statues and that will be really dangerous. And yeah, we are using an archetype called Token Druid. Token Druid is attack that could summon multiple minions at once while at the same time the wait, what do I want to do? Yeah, and at the same time they also have the spells that could buff multiple minions at once for a cheap cost. That's why it is. And yeah. Also, Void Reaper just now, it's a card that what am I trying to do? I made a bit of a mistake actually. Oh well. But yeah, Void Reaper is a card that will switch all the stats, switch the attack and health of all minions, and because the statue has zero attack, when you switch it, it will have zero health, so it will die instantly. And why do I want to kill the statues in the first place? Well, because the opponent have a spell that gets stronger for every amount of statue that is on the game. And also he could also buff these minions. Yeah, that's the spell. It will get stronger for every statue that is on the board. And then he also has a spell, a 2-mana spell that buffs all minions by 3 attack and 3 health. So it's a really strong spell. Anyway, his hero power costs 1 and it's an auto cast, so he will always cast it. And that's why I'm using Saboteur here on turn 6, so that his hero power will cost 6. Oh wait, I should have played the Flame Elemental. Anyway, yeah, his hero power costs 6, and which means that he will use his hero power and he don't have any mana, so he can't play anything else. That will skip a turn and make this fight much smoother. Ooh, is this enough to kill him? I don't think so. Branching Paths will... One of the choices in Branching Path is... what is it? We are one of lethal. Oh well, I'll just kill the statue just... Oh wait, never mind, I missed lethal. Whoops. Forgot I have a hero power. Well, that loses me a bit of time. Anyway, Branching Paths have multiple choices. It's the unique thing about Druid is that there's a lot of cards where you have multiple choice. Well, Druid have a lot of cards that give you choices in what effect you want it to be. So Branching Paths, I use the effect which buffs my minions by 2 attacks. There are also different effects from that card, such as gaining armor if you want to heal yourself, or drawing a card if you need a card draw. So yeah, it's a card that is only released recently and it's really useful for Druid overall. Anyway, now time for Slither Spear. This is also another boss that most people find really hard to beat. Like if you look at online guides, most people are asking for this strategies for this boss, I think. And so the strategy to beat this boss based on an archetype called Mill Rogue. I will explain this archetype later on. Oh, that's the key card of the Mill Rogue, Cult Like Oracle. Anyway, first of all, let me just explain about this boss. So for every turn, he will summon a Hungry Naga for 0 mana. On turn 1, this minion will be at a 1 attack and 1 health, and on next turn it will be a 2 attack and 2 health, and so it will keep getting buffed over and over, so on. And it will be, and in several turns you will see the Hungry Naga will get really big. So this mechanic is similar to Jade Golems. So I'm using a strategy called Mill Rogue, and Mill Rogue is a strategy. Hold on, what do I want to do here? Let me just use Doomsayer right now, because next turn my Deathlord will die. And Doomsayer is a card where at the start of your turn it will destroy all minions. So if the opponent can't kill the Doomsayer, then his board will be gone. Anyway, yeah, Mill Rogue is a card where the strategy is to draw as much cards as possible for your opponent until he eventually run out of cards. And let me just use this for now. Let's hope I get a gang up or Shadow Step at least. Oh well, I mean, if the Oracle dies, I could still get another Oracle from the Curator, because the Curator will draw a Murloc. So yeah, when the opponent runs out of cards, he will start dealing damage. Wait, what do I want to do here? Let me just hold out the Vanish. Vanish is a card that returns all minions to the opponent's hand, so it's really useful in removing all of his minions. And yeah, when your opponent runs out of cards, he will start dealing damage whenever he draws a card. So, and yeah, that's how you kill him. And yeah, the reason I'm using this strategy is because this boss is really strong and I don't have any other reliable ways of killing him, unfortunately. This might be kind of dangerous actually. And yeah, this deck heavily depends on that blue fish card that I played earlier. It's called a Coltech Oracle. When you play it, the opponent will draw 2 cards. Both players will draw 2 cards. So it's a good way of making your opponent run out of cards. And the Curator here also draws a Murloc from your deck. Also a Beast, and yeah, which is why. And so because I only have 1 Murloc in my deck, it will have a 100% chance of drawing the Oracle. And so if both of us will draw a card from the Murloc, then how do I make sure I didn't get fatigued myself? And well, that is done by using a card called Gang Up. Gang Up will shuffle 3 copies of Coltech Oracle in my deck, so I have a bunch of Oracles, and once that is done, yeah, I could just keep using Oracles over and over because I have a lot of them in my deck. Oh, by the way, this minion Ice Hole, it have a charge which allows it to attack straight away without waiting, but it can't attack heroes. Shadow Step will return the Oracle to my hand, so I could play it again and do the milling even more. And another one. Actually, let me just freeze one of his minions first, just to be safer. I might still be on a dangerous position here. Okay, and oh, by the way, this fight will be kinda hard to play fast, kinda hard to play quick, so my commentary might be slowed down a bit, and because I need to concentrate. Okay, I should be winning here. Okay, he ran out of cards already, so all I have to do is just keep drawing cards for him.
Almost out of cards.
So yeah, the first time he fatigue, he will receive 1 damage, and then it will be increased to 2 and 3 and so on, and he will die next turn. I will just draw as much cards as possible for him, and he should be dead. Wait, let me take a look at my notes. Brown Bronzebeard is a card that will trigger the battle cry twice. Oh, by the way, yeah, an ability that gets triggered whenever you play a minion is called the battle cry.
I'm out of cards.
Wait a minute. Yeah, and I don't need the Brand Bronzebeard. Actually, that's a bit of waste of time. Wait. Okay, phew. Yeah, actually don't need Brand Bronzebeard because I end up getting fatigued myself and I almost died. That's a bit of misplay. I should have calculated that properly. But then again, because this is a speedrun, I need to be quick in my movements, and yeah, that's why sometimes I make a bit of misplays when you need to think of calculations that are kind of complicated. Anyway, now move on to the next fight. Giant Fin. So this opponent is a Murloc. Murloc is a kind of fish people, and we have a card that destroys a Murloc actually. So Hungry Crab destroys a Murloc instantly. Although I don't want him in the early game right now. So in this boss, he will keep summoning small Murlocs over and over, and his hero power will draw 2 cards on every turn. So he won't be out of resources. And so you want cards that clear up minions in the early game. Cards such as Explosive Sheep or a Tentacle of Unzot. Tentacle of Unzot, when it dies, it will deal 1 damage to all minions. And a lot of his minions are of 1 health, so yeah, this will clear up a lot of minions. Nothing else to play other than Volcanic Drake, I guess. And yeah, and for the speedrun strategy, we will abuse 2 features of this boss. First of all, there's the fact that we often kill a lot of minions at once. So I don't have anything to play other than I need to play the Doomsayer here, unfortunately. But my Volcanic Drake will be dead. I might not have made the ideal move here, but whatever. So yeah, we will abuse 2 features of this boss, right? So because we tend to kill a lot of minions at once, minions such as there are different kinds of cards that get better when you kill a lot of minions. Such as Solemn Vigil. It's a spell that will draw you 2 cards, and it gets cheaper whenever a minion dies. So just now I cast it for 0 mana. And another example is Volcanic Drake, which a minion that will get cheaper whenever a minion dies. And just now, like in turn 2, I could summon it for only 2 mana when it originally cost 6. But this is actually kind of dangerous. Oh, okay, I know what to do here. So yeah, this is another example. I kill a lot of minions at once and I could summon the Volcanic Drake for free. So yeah, Paladin is... and there's also another feature that I haven't explained. It's the fact that he draws a lot of cards, which means he usually have a lot of cards in his hand. And Paladin is really good at abusing both of the features that I've mentioned previously. So Paladin have cards called Divine Favor, which is really good for this boss. It will draw a card. It will draw cards until the amount of cards in your hand is equal to your opponent. And because he often have a huge hand, I usually able to draw a lot of cards with that spell. Oh, this is actually really dangerous. Uh oh, my Baron Geddon can kill these minions. I am not sure if I have done the right thing here. This is unusually dangerous. I don't have a way to clear these minions because he managed to buff it into 3 health, into more than 2 health. And okay, but thanks to that unstable ghoul, now all of his minions have only 2 health or less, and Baron Geddon will deal 2 damage to all minions at the end of his turn. So if he can't kill the Baron Geddon, then he can't play any minions because his minion will keep dying over and over. Oh, he could, unfortunately. Oh, never mind. The AI is made a bit of stupid mistake. And another card that will abuse the fact that the opponent draws a lot of cards is Daring Reporter. So whenever the opponent draws a card, this will get buffed by 1 attack and 1 health, and the opponent will draw 3 cards every turn. So this minion will get picked really soon, and I could deal a lot of damage with it. 6, 7, 13, I can't kill him yet though. And also the good thing about Baron Geddon is that the opponent will stop playing his minions because most of his minions are of 2 health or lower, so it will be killed instantly by Baron Geddon. And yeah, the AI don't want to let his minions go to waste. And I win. So yeah, this Daring Reporter have 9 attack with only 2 turns. Okay, this Nazjar is a fight which could also be pretty hard to play fast, partly because of the random nature of this fight. And it's also a fight that is actually pretty easy to beat for casual players, because all you need to do, if you have a good draw, then you could beat it. But it's hard to be consistent. And actually the best win rate that I could came up with is 50%, which is low if you want to speedrun a bunch of bosses at once. But the good thing is that the defeats are usually quick. Usually it will only take like 1 to 2 minutes. So if I do lose, then I usually won't lose a lot of time, hopefully. So what is happening with this boss? So her ability is really interesting. At the end of her turn, she will transform all minions. My minions will get transformed into a random minion of the same cost, while her minions will get transformed into minions of of a higher cost. So yeah, the strategy. So both of us are using this strategy here. We try to summon multiple minions at once. Oh, and she has Lightning Storm that deals damage to multiple minions at once, but she only have one of it in her deck. So now that she already used it, I don't have to worry about it, and I'm actually in a pretty good position now. So yeah, the strategy here is just revolving at trying to summon a bunch of minions at once and hoping that I could dominate the tempo. I don't have any minions I only have one minion summoned right now, but next turn I could play a minion that will exploit her hero power. So Doppelgangster is a 5 mana minion with only 2 attack and 2 health. But his battle cry is that he will summon 2 copies of himself when you play it. So there are 3 5 mana minions, and she will transform all these minions into a random 5 mana minion at the end of her turn. So on average, this will get buffed by like about 2 or 3 stats. Yeah, which make this card really strong for this boss. Yeah, another part of aspect of the strategy against this boss is to abuse this feature. Wait, what do I need to do here? I am actually pretty close to killing him at this point, I think, because games have been going really well. I think I could actually kill him next turn. Yeah, actually, wow, this will be a really quick game. I have Savage Roar and Branching Paths, which will buff the attack of my minions, and I have multiple of them, so I should be able to kill her next turn, unless I get really small minions. Should be winning, right? Yeah, I'm just going to go face. Wow, this is a really quick Nuzjar. Might actually be a gold split, because the Nuzjar in my PB is already really quick. Oh wow, gold split. Didn't expect that. Nuzjar have lots of really huge variance in the finishing time. Like it could go between 3 to 7 minutes. I mean 8 minutes, yeah. No joke, it could go between 3 to 8 minutes. So this one is actually less than 3 minutes, which is really quick. But yeah, even if I do win, sometimes the game goes slow, and sometimes even if you manage to control the board, you don't get the opportunity to build a huge board because you don't have your late game minions, and that will make the game go slow. Anyway, Scalesaurus. So now this fight, hold on a minute, what do I want to do here? Actually, not sure if I want to keep my Shadow Strike, but anyway. This boss is also a hard one for casual players, although my deck still have some chance to lose. Maybe I think I have 70 to 75% win rate, maybe. And so, what is this boss hard? So, his hero power gives a random card, and the card will have its cost reduced to 0. So he could get anything between a 1 mana minion to a 10 mana minion for free. And yeah, that means this boss have a lot of randomness, obviously. Which is one part that makes this deck is not consistent as I hope. Well, another part is the fact that I'm using a Mill Rogue similar to Slither Spear, and Mill Rogue is a deck that depends on getting specific cards, especially the Coltec Oracle and Vanish. I need to play my Death Lord, I guess. Ooh, this is bad. Hold on a minute. Fortunately, I can't cast Sap at the same time as my Shadow Strike yet. Yeah, this is bad situation. I might actually lose pretty soon, and I will just restart if I lose. Oh, I could play my MCT too. I guess I won't play my Deathlord yet then.
He's animating an army. Elise, stop him!
He also have 2 spells that will deal 4 damage, so he could use it to kill me if my health is low. And he also have a King Crush, which is a 9 mana minion with 8 attack and a charge. Charge allows him to attack straight away without waiting, so hold on a minute, what do I want to do? So he could deal 8 damage straight away with that minion if you do have it, and yeah, that makes things hard, and things are bad right now. I might actually end up dying pretty soon, so I'll just restart if that's the case. But well, again, let me repeat this again. The good thing about dying is that it gives a chance to read more donations. And oh wow, that's a really nice top deck. Oh, I just realized this is Arcane Tyrant. It's a card that will cost 0 when you cast a huge spell. So I could just cast it straight away again. I should have used my banana just now. Oh well, that's kind of funny that I get a synergy like that. Ooh, and yeah, the thing about this boss is that he have a lot of peace. Do I twist my weapon? Yeah. You have a lot of peace, which is the reason why I'm using Hammer Nesting, where it will instantly destroy a beast. It's a meme card in regular gameplay because the chance of triggering this effect is really low. And that's the Oracle. So I still need to survive. Let me just play my Doomsayer so the AI won't do anything. I'll just throw away my bananas. Because I don't need the bananas, it will only club my... Oh, and by the way, about these secrets, so he have 3 different secrets. The first is Bear Trap. It will trigger when you attack the enemy hero, and he will summon a 3/3 bear with a town. And do I want to use my Vanish already? Might be able to. I think I need to cash my Vanish here, unfortunately. Okay, things might look smooth, but I need to draw my Oracle as soon as possible at this point. And the second secret is a Snake Trap. You've seen it earlier. When you attack a minion, then what's it? And then he will summon 3 minions with 1 attack and 1 health. Okay, now time to start the melee. Nice, and a Shadow Step. And the third card is Dart Trap. He only have 1 copy of Dart Trap, so he will less likely to use it for the fight. And yeah, Dart Trap, when you seen it in the Scarvash fight, although I didn't trigger it too, yeah, if you use your hero power, then he will deal 5 damage to a random enemy, which is why I usually don't use it. Anyway, let me sap before milling, because if I draw a card before I return that minion to his hand, it will die, and that minion have a death trap. What do you say? That minion have a death rattle, so when it dies, it will summon 2 minions with 2 attack and 2 health, which is annoying to deal with. Another Oracle, please. There you go. Now I have a lot of Oracles in my deck. I'll just do this over and over. So I still need to clear a bunch of his minions, obviously. And he ran out of cards. Okay. Don't want to attack his hero because that will just trigger the bear trap, and which make it harder to deal with. Anyway, I should be winning in 2 turns. Not sure if I could kill him next turn. I need to. Yeah, I have a note here which shows the damage that I could deal with Oracle. Hold a minute. 1444. Oh wait, I could actually win. Actually, I don't need to do this way. Wait. 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, I win. There you go. Fight's over. I was kinda slow in my calculation just now because yeah. Okay, Milrook is pretty hard to do quick. And especially now that I try to do a commentary explaining the boss mechanics, it makes it even harder. So yeah, he was at 1 fatigue damage, so when I use Brand plus Oracle, the first time it will deal 14 damage, and the second time it will deal 30 damage. That's a total of 44 damage, and he have only like, what's it, 36, 37 health left I think just now, which is why the both Oracles is enough to kill him. On to the next fight. Okay. So I'm actually on a really good pace for a resetless run, only 1.5 minutes above my PB. Although it's really unlikely to PB at this point because the last 3 fights of my PB is really good. Anyway, still Sentinel. So the gimmick of this boss looks really strong. Both his hero and his minions can only take 1 damage at a time. So no matter if you deal like 3 damage, 7 damage or whatever it is to the minions, and it will only receive 1 damage. Which is why you will keep seeing these minions with the keyword poisonous. With a poisonous minion, when you deal damage with a poisonous minion, the minion will die instantly. So his effect is not really relevant. So right now what I'm doing in the early game is just to stall. But then again, so okay, you have the tools to deal with the hero. So what will you do to defend your? What will you do to win, right? And that's the reason I'm using Warlock. Warlock have a really interesting trait that is only available since the Frozen Throne expansion, which is released last August. So this trick is by comboing two different cards. The first card is Majordomo Executus. Majordomo Executus, when it dies, hold on a minute, what can I do here? When Majordomo Executus die, you will be transformed into a hero called Ragnaros. The hero will only have 8 health. And the second, ooh, he used his brawl already, that's really quick, okay. And the second card is, what is it? Shit, hold on a minute, let me just... Should have used Oracle and Gastrobot actually last time instead of tapping, oh well. Second card is called Treachery. Treachery will transfer a minion from your own board on your side to the opponent's side. So the strategy here is to give Majordomo Executus to your opponent and then you kill it. And then, hold on a minute, what do I do here?
He's animating the library book.
I need to make sure my hand size isn't full, because if it's full, I might end up discarding my combo pieces. Anyway, yeah, so when you give Majordomo to your opponent, that's the treachery. And then you kill it, he will be transformed into an 8 health minion, and his hero power will also be changed. So this effect of only be able to take 1 damage at a time will disappear. So you could just kill it easily. What do I want to do though? Don't have any poisonous minion right now, which is bad. And yeah, I will never bother attacking the enemy hero because it's useless. I'll just transform it anyway later on. And oh, he haven't used weapon throughout this game, but he does have some weapons, which is why I have a lot of weapons throughout this deck. That's hold a minute. Oh wait, almost used the wrong card. If I use my treachery already, then that's GG. Because I can't waste my treachery. And by the way, to help with activating the combo, I have this a card called Taurisan. Oh wow, hold a minute, I could actually win pretty soon here. Wow, this will be a really quick game. So yeah, I have this card called Emperor Taurisan. It will reduce all the cards in my hand by 1. So next, I could use Majordomo and Treachery next turn. Both of those cards will cost 12 combined normally, but thanks to Taurisan, it will only cost 10 mana, so I could use it in 1 turn. And there you go, I transfer my hero. Next turn, I should be able to kill him with Leroy Jenkins, as long as he doesn't heal or using a taunt. So Ragnaros, his hero power is dealing 8 damage to a random enemy. It's kind of irrelevant, I guess. And yeah, you see his hero power is changed, so he is... oh, that's a lot of taunt actually, so I might not be able to kill him yet. That kinda sucks. Wait, nah, I win, right? I still can... hold on a minute. I still win, okay. Wow, this is a really quick game, I think. There you go, and yeah, because his hero power is changed, he's vulnerable to my damage now, and I could easily kill him. Okay, the second last fight. Now we are actually fighting the last boss of the fight. Although this is his first phase, the next fight is his second phase. So his first phase have a really unique twist. Let me just wait until the animation started. So there you go, he steals your deck. So he uses your deck instead of his own deck. But unfortunately for him, all of my deck is all of useless cards. It's mostly either cards that have 0 attack or cards that can't attack. Cards whose card text specifically said he can't attack. So yeah, he can't attack with those minions, and if he heal the board with a bunch of those minions, then he won't be able to do anything. But the thing is, that doesn't mean this boss is that this boss is really easy to. So his hero power is Unstable Portal. It's cost 0 mana, but it will give him a random minion whose cost will be reduced by 2 and by 3. So if I'm unlucky, then he might be able to summon huge minions straight away on the early game, because the minions that he obtained from this have a reduced cost. Just now he played a card with will reduce my all my spells into 1. Unfortunately, I don't have any huge spells right now. But things went smooth for now. Kinda sucks that I discarded my 4 mana minion just now, because I want to play it next turn, but oh well. And yeah, this is one example of the card from my deck. It can't attack unless if there's no other minions on the battlefield, which is really unlikely. So yeah, it can't attack. So all of his minions here so far can't attack, and I could just freely attack his face. By face I mean the hero. It's funny, this minion will recruit a demon. By recruit, that means summoning a minion from his deck, but I don't have any demons in my deck, so I don't need to be afraid of that. Oh wait, that's a bit of a mistake. Oh wait, he does have a demon, but the demon has 0 attack. I should have played my Helmet Nesting Worry just now. That was a bit of a mistake, I forgot. Because Helmet Nesting Worry is a 5 mana minion, so yeah, could just use it. Okay, so now all I have to do is just killing him, just attacking his face, and slowly but surely I will kill him. Now that most of his board are all useless minions, and let's just hope he doesn't get a minion that allows him to kill his eggs, because these eggs, so Nerubian egg, when it dies, it will give him a 4/4 minion, 4 attack and 4 health minion. That will be annoying to deal with. Do I want to bother in killing that minion? Let's just kill this thing to be safe. I don't really need to do it actually, but oh well. It also, I guess, saves a bit of animation time. Actually, nah. That card just now, the Death Rattle, give quite a lot of animation time, so I think it actually time waste for killing him. But I mean, doesn't really matter. I will win next turn anyway. That's funny. I won't be able to get rid of that card because that minion will resummon itself if it dies. Okay, now time for the last fight.
You are nothing before the staff.
Last fight is complicated. There's a lot of things happening during that fight, and my strategy itself is kind of complicated. So, and it's also pretty hard to play quick. So my commentary might be a bit slow right now. Although if I have a couch, there's an interesting part about my couch. By the way, I have an interesting candidate for the couch. I will explain it in the comments below. But anyway, yeah. So this boss, you see here the blue glow in his portrait. That means he is immune. Doing here. And that means I can attack him directly. I can damage him directly. He could damage it starting from turn 4. Starting from turn 4, he will lose his immunity for 1 turn. And yeah, he will always lose his immunity for every 3 turns after turn 4. So on turn 4, 7, 10, 13, etc. And yeah, but the strategy that we use right now ignores this immunity. I don't need to bother about attacking himself. And yeah, I'll explain about that later. But so so this boss have a bunch of unique gimmicks. So first of all, remember when I said he will lose his immunity on turn 4, but that doesn't make it easy, because whenever he loses his immunity, he will also summon 10 minion with hold on, what do I have to do? Yeah, he will summon a minion with 10 attack and 10 health for free. And those minions is random. It's based on the previous bosses throughout this adventure, and they all have different effects. So yeah, you are hoping that he doesn't have a minion with a strong effect.
Now's your chance.
Hold on a minute. Oh, and also your hero power is different than usual right now. You are given this hero power, which hold on a minute. This is kinda I may actually play both by Doomsayer here. Oh, what the heck? Sorry for being slow just now, this situation is kinda weird.
Drink it quickly.
But yeah, your hero power is also different than usual here. Your hero power will find, yeah, it's finding an artifact for 2 mana. Artifact is, there are 10 possible artifacts.
Set up.
1 minute. Wait, do I just mess up somewhere? Actually, never mind. I think I messed up this turn. Last turn, sorry, I made a bit of a misplay. But then again, without the misplay, I think I will still die because. So just now I was trying to kill his opponent, killed all the minions with Pyro and Equality, Pyromancer and Equality, but that one huge minion makes all the other minions immune. So unfortunately, I can't kill it that way. And yeah, this boss does have a bit of chance to lose, unfortunately. But at least that gives me a bit more time in explaining the mechanic of this boss.
Fight with honor.
So obviously I didn't want to die if it's possible. But anyway, yeah, my hero power is changed right now. My hero power will give me an artifact. There are 10 possible artifacts. And artifacts are spells that cost 0 and they have a bunch of different kinds of effects. Mostly are powerful. There's a few that is kind of useless, but anyway. And the win condition of this fight is by abusing those artifacts. So
Museum for useful.
on the next of Frozen Throne expansion, what is it? Hold on a minute. There's a new card type released called a hero card. It's not a minion and it's not a spell, and it will transform your hero into an upgraded version of himself. And for the paladin class, the hero have a hero power, where the hero power is summon a horseman. Horseman is a 2 minion with a 2 attack and 2 health, and there are 4 different horsemen that could be summoned. When you manage to summon 4 different horsemen,
Charging again.
you will instantly win. You will kill the boss straight away, so this immunity is ignored. But yeah, you could only use hero power once a turn, so how do you be able to summon 4 horsemen reliably? So you could use another card called, 1 minute,
Set up.
I want to, yeah, there's another card here called Auction Master Beardo.
But we found it in Nax Ramen.
Wait, what do I want to do here? Called Auction Master Beardo, it will, after you cast a spell, refresh your hero power. So you could cast your hero power multiple times whenever you cast a spell. And yeah, so that's how you do it. You put a Beardo, and then, ooh, that's an interesting use of End Tome.
Go for it.
So you use Beardo, you cast multiple spells with only 0 mana, which allows you to use your hero power multiple times. So artifacts, there are different kinds of artifacts. One example is gain, 1 minute. Wait, need to be careful of my hand size. What do I have to do here?
Ghosts of Karazhan haunt this location.
I'll just dump that Forbidden Healing because I don't want too many cards in my hand. Because if it's too many cards, then my hand will be full and I might end up discarding one of my cards.
Attack is nearly ready. Set up.
Wait. 1 minute. Okay, I will win next turn. I have 3 spells and I have... Okay, so normally to trigger the combo, I need an Emperor Tarisan to reduce the cost of one of my spells. But thankfully, one of the artifacts here will give you full mana crystal. So yeah, I don't need Tarisan if I have these artifacts. And I have 3 spells, I have the Beardo and I have the Paladin. I have the Death Knight, so okay, next turn I will win. My explanation throughout this game might not be that good, but then again, this fight is kinda hard to play optimally if you want to be speedrunning it. So here's the first hero power, and then I will use a spell to refresh the hero power so I can cast it again. I use another spell. And this will be the last spell, isn't it? That's the last spell, and that's the last horseman. And when you summon a 4 horsemen, the enemy hero will die. There you go, I win. Time stops when the hero power destroyed, and there you go. That's Heroic League of Explorer. Oh wow, this is actually a really good time for a resetless run, I think. Yeah, I've posted the times on the several resetless attempts that I have done throughout the last 2 weeks or so. I have like about 9, I think, and it could range between like 101, which is my PB, and like 1.5 hours. So yeah, there's a lot of variance depending on how many times I die. Although yeah, getting above 1 minute, 1 hour and 20 minutes is unlucky in general, and I think average should be below than that. Although there's a few times where I get above that, where I have a lot of deaths. It does happen. I mean, thing is, this is a card game and there's a lot of RNG in it, but most of the strategy here are consistent with only small chance of dying, which is why I could consistently get below 1 hour and a half and 1.5 hour. So yeah, that's it. If there's anything that I forgot to add in this commentary, I will just add it in my comment below, and